Hey everyone! Okay, I am so excited about today's video because a lot of you know that our family went to beaches, Turks and Caicos, all-inclusive resort. So in case any of you guys have wanted to go on a beaches family vacation or go to beaches, Turks and Caicos, I wanted to make sure that I put together a video for you guys sharing all the things you need to know before you go, before you book your trip, how to get the best deals. So let's get started and I'll share all the information with you guys. All right, if you guys are brand new to my channel, please subscribe and make sure you guys click that notification button so you guys know when new videos go live. YouTube doesn't notify you when videos go live unless you click that little notification button. It looks like a bell, so make sure that you do that so you guys don't miss any more money-saving tips on travel and everything else that I share here on my channel. As we go into this video, I just want you guys to know there are 3 beaches resorts, okay? One is in Turks and Caicos and the other 2 are in Jamaica. So I'm talking about my Turks and Caicos experience, but a lot of these things I'm sharing are going to be the same at another beaches resort or give you an idea of what to expect at another beaches resort, but I will be specifically talking about the Turks and Caicos trip since that's where we went. All right, as we jump into this video, I wanna make sure that I share one of the most important things with you guys, the deals, okay? So if you guys want to score deals to beaches resorts, you need to make sure you go to their deals page. I am linking you guys to that below in the YouTube description. You also can go to themeleashow.com/beaches and it will take you there. And that might sound like a lot of money, but I will tell you that everything, and I mean everything, is included. Your food, your activities, so scuba diving, water sports, the kids clubs, the daycares, I mean, everything is included. There's no tipping involved. I mean, that includes any tipping as well. So like we weren't even allowed to tip while we were there. So keep that in mind when you look at prices, but head over there to that special deal page. That's where all of their deals and promotions are. I would highly recommend that you book in advance. The further out you book in advance, the better choice of rooms you get. My advice to you guys is to actually book the cheapest room that you possibly can that fits your family because everything else is the same. The only thing that differentiates your price is the room. So if you don't care so much about your room, then don't worry about that because everyone at the resort is treated exactly the same once you're outside your room. So it's not like you get bonus or extra upgrades if you buy a more expensive room. Everyone gets treated the same. So keep that in mind when you're booking. We actually stayed in the French Village and I'm gonna show you guys a map so you get an idea of where this is at. The Italian Village is kind of like the center or the epicenter where a lot of things go on. So a lot of people like to be over in the Italian Village. However, the French Village was less expensive, so that's why we stayed there. The walks aren't that bad. I mean, the whole resort is ginormous, so be prepared to walk, okay? So let's just mention that up front. But there's also the Caribbean resort, which sometimes can be cheaper. However, I had heard some reviews online saying that the rooms weren't as nice and they were kind of more run down. I don't know, if you guys have stayed in the Caribbean resort, comment and let us know what you guys thought because I didn't stay there. I decided to upgrade a little bit and stay in the French Village. And then of course the Key West Village is where all the more expensive condo styles, full houses, houses with swimming pools, all that kind of stuff is over there in Key West Village. There's a lot of different room styles, a lot of different things, so make sure you check those out when you book because the only difference in price is the room. So let's talk about one of the things that is totally included, and that is scuba diving. And I actually am going to do a little rewind and let you guys hear from me back in Turks and Caicos. Okay, so a few things to note for scuba diving if you're gonna go. Scuba diving is free here, but they will have you take a refresher course if you haven't done enough diving or if it's been a long time since you dove, and that's 80 bucks. So plan on the $80 charge. Then you can dive as much as you want while you're here. And the other charge that people that they don't have on their website is wetsuits. The ocean is super cold, so they're $10. So if you have a wetsuit at home that you can bring, I would bring that instead. That way you're not paying $10 every time you dive to get a wetsuit and you just have one. I wish I would have known that beforehand. I would have just bought one. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm super nervous actually. They've been seeing sharks and I'd love to see a shark in person, but like what happens if like you nick your like arm on the coral and you're bleeding? Does like the shark come and eat you or like come after you because they can smell blood from miles away? Maybe that's like a really naive question, I don't know. So if you haven't scuba dived in a long time, plan on that $80 charge. We did pay for that, but it was totally worth it because we were able to go scuba diving a bunch of times while we were there. We even saw a reef shark and a huge ginormous turtle. So that was really, really fun and something fun we could do on the trip while our kids were in the daycare, which was so great. So let's talk about the daycare and the kids club since I just mentioned it. So at the Turks and Caicos Beaches Resort, they have a few different kids clubs. They have one that's for 4-year-olds and under, and they have one that's for 5 and up. They also have like a teens hangout area. They have a huge Xbox room, a lot of fun stuff for the teens too. There were a lot of preteens and teens there, so don't think it's a place that you can just take your younger kids, because a lot of older kids were there too. In the kids club, the Sesame Street characters come and play with your kids. They have a lot of activities. Everything is actually scheduled out on like a little pamphlet telling you where they're gonna be at what time. If you're gonna be gone somewhere and the kids are there during lunch or dinner, they take them to lunch and dinner. It's really convenient, it's nice. My kids loved it. I was worried that they wouldn't, but they did love it and they had a lot of fun. The other thing I would recommend is that you actually check the pamphlet to see what they're doing at each time during the day. And if there's anything in there you don't want your kids participating in, that you don't take your kids to the kids club during that time. All right, there is a really great tip, and this is something we learned very early on in our trip, which I'm really glad that we did because it was better for our experience. I mean, the Beaches Resort at Turks and Caicos has, I wanna say like 13 restaurants. I mean, 12, 13, I mean, tons of restaurants. They all serve like a different kind of style of food. But what we noticed that some restaurants had better food than others, so this is the trick that we learned. So tell them what you were saying about the food over by the Key West side.
That you need to always buy the cheapest price hotel
like room.
Or room.
Right.
And then go eat at the expensive places, food restaurants, because they're always better food.
Yeah, so you can eat at any of the restaurants no matter what room you're in. So what he's basically saying is buy the cheapest room possible and then go eat over on the Key West side. There's 3 restaurants over there and their food is nicer. It's warm.
Yeah, they had sushi made to order.
Yeah.
A lot,
So,
even the
like
chicken nuggets for
like
the kids
a higher
was better.
quality. A lot of the rooms over here for our same week were like $20,000 to $30,000. We did not pay $20,000 to $30,000. So our 2 favorite restaurants actually at the Beaches Turks and Caicos Resort was the Bayside restaurant, because it actually was on the Key West Village side. It was nicer, the food was better, it was better repaired, more choices, more options. We just thought the food better all was a better quality over there. We also liked the Jerk Shack, which was on the completely other side of the resort, and it was more beach style. All of their meats had been smoked. They were so tender and juicy, so good. And that was like more of a casual resort, like barefoot on the sand kind of a thing, with just like some meat and some Caribbean music. It was kind of more in like the feel of what you would think when you go to a tropical island. So we really like that restaurant too. So those were our 2 favorites. The Sky restaurant is on top of the Bayside restaurant, so you can go up there in the morning if you have kids, and at night it's an adults only restaurant. But the food is very similar to Bayside, so if the Bayside is filled up, you can go up to the Sky restaurant. There is a kids water park play area. Your kids will probably want to stay in this area most of the day. They had water slides. They had a huge pirate ship with smaller slides for the younger kids. They had slides that you could go down in tubes. They had a lazy river. They even had a surfing simulator. So they had a lot of things for your kids to do. But I would recommend that you get there very, very early, because there are not a lot of seats for the parents. And so the earlier you got there, I want to say like 10 a.m.-ish, you were able to actually get a chair to put your stuff in and sit down. However, because of the way the water park is set up, you can't just sit in one place and see everything, so you probably would have to walk around with your younger kids anyway, so just a heads up about that. The one thing I was kind of disappointed about when it came to the Beaches Turks and Caicos Resort, the nightly entertainment was pretty boring. Like, there really wasn't a lot going on. They had a bunch of shows with the Sesame Street characters, so if your kids watch Sesame Street, I mean, they will totally love that. But that happened earlier in the night. So later at night, a lot of their adult entertainment or things you could do was, I mean, they had like some salsa lessons. There was like a comedian one night. There just wasn't a lot going on at night. So usually around 9 o'clock, we would head back to our room. Our kids needed to go to bed anyway because they're really young. And we would watch a movie together or work, because that's what we do. Work and get caught up on work. One of the cool things they don't talk about on the Beaches website that they actually let you do when you get there is they have an entire like little checkout center with games over on the Caribbean Village side. They have board games you can check out and other activities you can check out to do with your family. So if you do want to stay in or do need something to do late at night, they have family appropriate things that you can check out and take back the next day. One of my favorite things about this resort was the cotton candy. And the cotton candy is tricky to find. When we were there, they only had cotton candy out from 11 a.m. to about 5 p.m. and it was hidden inside Bobby D's restaurant. So you actually had to go inside to see the cotton candy. I kept seeing everyone with cotton candy and I was like, where is the cotton candy? I totally want some of that, because it was the only like really sugary, yummy thing that they had at the resort. I mean, they had lots of desserts, but I've noticed that desserts in tropical islands are way different than our desserts here in the States. They're not as chocolatey or sugary. They didn't satisfy my sweet tooth craving, I guess, as much. So having straight sugar on cotton candy was exactly what I needed and something that I actually ended up getting every single day. One of the other things I want to make sure I mention for all of the parents with the younger kids, they do not offer any sort of life jackets or puddle jumpers or anything like that for free at the resort. So they do have like a few shops there where you can go in and buy those things, but when we were there, there was nothing left. So our kids didn't really have anything. I wish that would have been something we would have brought with us. We did find some small little arm floaties that we bought for them, and they actually were pretty cheap. They were only $5, so if you're in a pinch, you could buy those. They also did have these huge loungers in the pool that were kind of free for anyone to use, so my kids typically played on those. But just so you guys know, you might want to bring your own puddle jumpers if your kids aren't great swimmers, because there are tons of pools and you're basically in the water the whole time you're there. Make sure you check out that deals page. It's below in the YouTube description. Again, if you're on your phone, click the upside down triangle that's over here. It'll pop it open for you. I know it's hard to find if you're on a cell phone. Or click show more if you're on your computer. But before I end this video, you guys have to know about my brand new travel Facebook group. Okay, I have created a group just for anyone who loves travel, who wants to travel more, who loves Disneyland, because I'm a Disneyland nut. I'll share a lot of tips in there about Disneyland. The best thing is that it's not just me sharing tips, it's people who have traveled all of these places too. So everyone's kind of sharing their ideas and their thoughts and ways they saved, and a bunch of things like that in this group, and it is awesome. It just started a week ago, and we are almost to 5,000 people in our group. So no matter where you want to go on vacation, from Bali to Tokyo to Disney World to Europe, I mean, everyone in there is giving so many awesome suggestions, and I'm learning things too. So it's great to have like a community where we can do that in, and it's the only place where that works. So if you guys want to join, you can just search Melea Travel on Facebook, and you'll see my group pop up, and you can request to join, and I will add you, okay? I hope you guys liked this video. Please give it a like if you liked it, so I know you'll want to see more of these videos, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.